Developer Quantic Dream has been trying to perfect its distinctive form of interactive storytelling for a decade now. On its third pass after Indigo Prophecy and Heavy Rain, Quantic Dream is closer than ever before to nailing a seamless, interactive, cinematic experience. And even though I know it sounds like marketing slang, Beyond Two Souls is so refined in its technique, I'm actually able to say that with a straight face. Beyond Two Souls is about a gifted young girl named Jody. Jody, played by Juno's Ellen Page, has a friend named Aiden, and even though he's invisible, he's very, very real. He's a disembodied spirit with the ability to possess people, move objects, and heal wounds. Beyond leaps chronologically through 15 years of Jody's life, but it's not a straight shot to womanhood. The story is constantly bouncing around, hopping from Jody's unconventional upbringing in a lab under the care of researcher Nathan Dawkins, he's played by Willem Dafoe, to her adulthood as a woman on the run. How exactly you interact with Jody and the world around her varies pretty widely from scene to scene. You may choose how Jody answers a question, you may steer a motorcycle through winding mountain roads, or you may just make dinner for a new boyfriend. Of course, Jody isn't this story's only protagonist. You can also switch control to Aiden at almost any moment with a button press. Controlling Aiden is refreshingly liberating with his ability to fly at will through walls and ceilings. Playing both as Jody and Aiden establishes a real emotional connection between the two. There are some genuine action sequences, like the aforementioned motorcycle chase or a couple of stealthy bits, but most of the higher intensity sections ask only timed button presses to keep the action going. It's really more about staying invested than being skilled. I've accepted that this is the way Quantic Dream handles action, but I was still frustrated by having so little freedom to experiment when playing as Aiden. He can only possess specific people or items, and they are almost always required to move the story forward. A little chance for experimentation would have helped me to feel like I was driving the experience. That frustration aside, Beyond often succeeds where predecessor Heavy Rain failed simply because the storytelling is so much better. The performances are vastly improved, thanks in no small part to better actors for whom English is actually their first language, and the motion capture is staggeringly great. The detail of animations, both in faces and bodies, manages to leap over the uncanny valley and into the realm of believability. It doesn't hurt that the environments are absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, David Cage and company haven't made similar strides in writing. While certainly its best effort yet, there are still plenty of clunky lines that fall flat. There's also a sterile, half-hearted attempt at romance that's so contrived it actually drags down many of the story threads connected to it. I also wish the studio had used its non-chronological storytelling device to better effect. It would have been worthwhile if the flashbacks were being used to color the events of the future, but that's rarely the case. It typically just feels a little disjointed, even though the variety in settings is nice.
Come on.
With Beyond Two Souls, Quantic Dream has smoothed away nearly all the rough edges in how it presents its stories. But the other edge of that sword is that it lays the stories themselves bare to be judged entirely on their own. With so many of the traditional elements of gameplay stripped away, like challenge and exploration, a tremendous amount of weight is put on Beyond's story to carry the day. While it's exhilarating to see a team that has worked so hard to perfect a new way of telling stories, I couldn't help wishing that they had a perfect one to tell.